This is the Blue Water Outlook Weekly Weather Briefing for August 18th, 2019. I'm John Felt. Well, we've had a trend recently towards over the southern U.S. areas of oppressive heat and humidity, over the upper Midwest due to a jet stream, more active weather, and many areas on the dry side, especially the western U.S. So that looks like that's pretty much not only what we had last week, but what we're going to have for the next week. We can see that we had some regional precipitation over parts of the middle part of the U.S. We had some tropical push of moisture into Florida with some very heavy rainfall. Everywhere else, rainfall across the nation generally about 1/2 inch or less, with nothing at all over the western U.S. Now, dew points are contributing to some of the very high heat index readings. We're looking at many areas, dew points around 75, very oppressive. Over the south central U.S., we're looking at upper 70s. That's that humidity that you walk outside and you just sort of feel it right when you go out without even moving around. So temperatures also are combining with that humidity or that dew point to produce the very oppressive heat. And you can see readings anywhere from 2 to as much as 8 degrees, 6 to 8 degrees in this region above normal. Matter of fact, parts of southern Texas, even though climatologically it's pretty harsh conditions in August, but these are the number of days above 100 degrees in the last 30, and you can see here we're looking at 22, 25 or more days above 100 degrees in that region, along with high humidity. So the trend nationwide has generally, with the exception of perhaps right in this area, right in here, everywhere else has been, a trend has been for drying soils. Matter of fact, we have a lot more yellow on our drought monitor this week than we've had in a while. And that's just saying that we are trending dry. The brown is the official start of drought, so we have it in the Pacific Northwest and other areas through the middle part of the U.S. and scattered areas in the Corn Belt. Parts of the Corn Belt are getting quite dry as well, the primary Corn Belt. So that's something where we could use some more rain, and the southeast U.S. as well. So sometimes tropics can really change things quickly, drought to flood, but I don't see that. There are a couple little really weak impulses here. There's one here that's sort of drifting off in this direction this week. This one here has brought some of the heavier rain to the immediate coast here. But other than that, not much. As a matter of fact, if you look at the primary development region, and I'm going to put out more detailed tropical information this week. I'll get into this in more detail. But good parts of the Gulf and the main tropical region are very quiet. So I don't see anything in the near term. And that's, might just be one of these backloaded years where we get a lot more activity, sort of everything builds up, the potential energy or the inhibiting factor is lifted, and then we get some action, and quite a bit of action, and that's a possibility. So anyway, as far as rivers go, this is where the heavy rain's been, so along the Missouri River Basin and its tributaries. But that's attenuating as it comes down. We have some tributaries in Wisconsin, and that's attenuating when it comes down. This is the tropical rainfall caused some high flows in Florida, around the Tampa Bay area. And then we have some very low flows over the Pacific Northwest and parts of the Southwest U.S. So like I've talked about for the last month, I believe, this high pressure has really been the dominant factor. It's weakened a bit and it's pushed off to the west a bit. At the same time, at the current time, we have an impulse moving through the upper jet stream. And again, where we have the jet energy, anywhere where these green lines are fairly close together, or you can look at these wind barbs, or you can look at this shading here, that's where the highest probability of, quote, weather will be. If you're south of that, if you're in the area of high pressure, that's a downward motion, not much chance for rain, and any rain you do get would be scattered precipitation due to the heat of the day. So what do we see when we go forward? Well, first of all, over the next couple weeks, that area of high pressure sort of stays over the southwest U.S., and that means lots of dry, rainless days over the southwest U.S. The jet stream remains over the north here, but I do see a dip in the jet stream here as we get, especially into week 2. As this high pushes off this direction, it allows the jet stream to dig, and I'm exaggerating this a bit, but that does allow a dip in the jet stream. and that will bring some cooler air in. And we've seen this pattern over and over throughout the summer now. Now, once we get that cooler air in here, that has been not a lot of precipitation with it, so that could be cooler and drier. Could be really nice, pleasant weather from a water resource perspective, maybe not the best situation. Unfortunately, over the western U.S., looks like the heat's going to continue for the next couple weeks or longer. Now, precipitation this week looks very similar to last week, not much at all. We have some land, Gulf of Mexico interaction right along the immediate coast. Here's that system, very weak system moving up the mid-Atlantic. Some regional precipitation over the middle part of the nation right here. And that is pretty much it. The western U.S., almost the western half of the U.S., very dry. Like I said, that heat looks like it's going to continue over the western U.S. right through the next 2 weeks. The middle part of the U.S. is going to be where we're going to get some pushes of refreshing, drier, and cooler air. And just a general pattern of scattered precipitation. And this is sort of hard to predict exactly where it'll be. I don't see any strong signal. Stronger signal is going to be over the western U.S. where we have a strong dry signal. As far as risk assessment or hazards, I did want to mention in the jet stream energy, we do have some scattered severe thunderstorms today, Monday, and Tuesday. We have some oppressive heat continuing over the southern U.S. Here are the heat warnings and advisories at the current time. And again, just very small part of the nation, that heavy rain. So overall, I think it's fairly typical August weather with areas of excessive heat, scattered areas of severe storms over the upper Midwest, the middle part of the nation, and the tropics look like they're very quiet, unusually quiet at the current time. So that's this week's forecast. It's August, middle of August. Have a great week.